Good morning, everyone. Ooh, that was a grunty good morning from Mason's. Oh my goodness. Dakota wants to say hi too. Yeah, okay, buddy, I don't have peanut butter on my arm. He has to investigate me every time I have breakfast and make sure I'm nice and clean. Yep. Good boys. This young man has I don't know if it's an owie or what. Do you see that bald spot? He keeps licking it. It appeared on Saturday, and it almost looks like the hair got ripped off. And he keeps licking. It's clearly bothering him. So I don't know if it's like an allergy or like the skin doesn't look dry. I don't know. I might try and put some bag balm on it or something and see if that helps with it. I don't know. So Mason's weight feels really good right now because I've had, thank you, a little bit of a night. I did not fall asleep until like 3:30 in the morning. And so I came home. I have no idea why. Well, the medication that I take for anxiety can give me insomnia. And so there are nights where I just can't fall asleep. Like that like sense of like, drifting just doesn't happen for me until really late or early in the morning. Which is kind of a bummer because then it throws my like my wake up time off. And Mason. Okay. Oh jeez. Okay, there we go. I'm trying to reposition. Oh, sorry, bud. Oh, okay, we're done. Apparently. Dakota, you want in now? Oh, you coming back in? No, you're not coming back in. Okay, we're done. So yeah, I'm trying not to overdo the coffee to compensate because that's just gonna make it worse tonight. So, and yesterday I was pretty good until I'd say on my way home, and then I started missing Sara terribly. Like so I'm guilty of playing Christmas music in the car already. I'm sorry for those of you. I do it in the car, and I don't play it anywhere else, only when I'm by myself, because it drives my husband crazy. He doesn't want to hear Christmas music until Thanksgiving Day. But when I'm stressed, it makes me happy, so I listen to it. And I was doing pretty good, enjoying it was a cold day, and when I was driving to work, it was raining. So it felt like, I was in the mood for it. And then it kind of washed over me that I have to go through Christmas without her again. And it really affected me. I thought, I was like, oh, the firsts are over. Well, not completely over. I'm sure there's going to be firsts that are going to creep up from time to time. But like the first year of holidays without her is over. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to be all right. And it put me in a funk. I just started crying on the way home. I was able to pull myself out of it for most of the evening. We ended up watching The Core and watched a really fake disaster movie. And Harrison ended up joining us. Harrison and I really like watching disaster movies. Mostly the disaster movies that are so over the top, it's not possible, so it just ends up being fun, right? I mean, there's nothing about The Core that's realistic. And what's funny, they were laughing at me so hard because I went into it, a friend of mine told me, it's pure fantasy, don't pay attention to what they're trying to say is science, right? And so I went into it like that, thinking, and just enjoyed it. It was just stupid fun. And it wasn't until the end where they were using humpback whale sounds, but they had images of orcas, and they said that they were whales, and that's what got to me. That's where I was like, I draw the line here. Not that we're tunneling to the center of the earth. But the fact that they mislabeled an orca for a whale, because it's a dolphin, and used the wrong kind of sound. And that's what got me. They were laughing at me so hard. But hey, me and animals, it's just my thing. So I just couldn't pass it up. Anyway, so the movie distracted me, and Harrison and Jared's like eye rolling at every other scene of how ridiculous it is. I fully enjoyed it because, like I said, I went into it looking at it as a fantasy movie, and that's the, you know. So that distracted me, and then I just laid awake staring at the ceiling, and emotions just kept flooding in, and I wasn't like, it's not like I could close my eyes and feel tired. Like I didn't, my eyes like felt like glued open. And of course, now that I'm sitting here, I can't, like, my eyes feel like they want to be glued shut. I think the other physical thing that's throwing off, we all got our COVID and flu shots Friday, and I was tired, but it didn't affect me too much. And yesterday going to work, it decided to hit me in mid massage. I broke out in this like cold sweat. I was sweating like crazy. I felt like I had a fever all of a sudden in the middle of the massage. It only lasted for like 30 minutes, but I was like, really, this is the moment that my body decides to respond to this. And so I just felt off yesterday. And I emotionally, I guess it just hit me that like, okay, we're about to encroach in on a season of what should be happiness, and it's going to be happy. I'm going to make it happy. But I'm going to have to, it's just going to be a lot of work, to not be sad all the time that she's not here. I even talked to her in my sleep. The other day I was taking a nap. It was probably Saturday I took a nap, and I was sleeping on my right side. I was having a dream, and I swear I felt somebody. I tend to sleep really light when I take a nap. It's just a doze most of the time. And I swear that she touched my shoulder. Like I felt something touch my shoulder on my left side, and my brain was like, Sarah? And I bolted upright. I think it was a muscle twitch and I was dreaming, but it's kind of thrown me off since then. And I think that incident also has made me really long for her. And just have her companionship. And so I was actually kind of like quietly talking, whispering to her last night when I was crying, because it was the only way I could feel like I had a connection at that point. If, you know. And then I say that out loud, and I'm like, that sounds crazy, but it makes me feel better, so I'm going to do it. And maybe I might need to do a little bit more journaling the next few days and processing. Fortunately, I don't have a counseling session this week. My insurance is not covering it the way it's basically not going to cover it. And so we've had to decrease the number of visits in order to make it work. And so I'm going every other week right now. It's still too expensive. So I'm hoping to get down to once a week, but right now 2 times a week is what I need. And just lots of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I'm feeling it in my body right now. I clench like the whole front of my body when I'm stressed out and my trauma. So here's something interesting. There has been some things that triggered me, and last week I took last week off and just rested. And right before that, some information came to me that I don't want to, I didn't realize I was responding in my body physically. And journaled about what was in my head and what happened, and was able to kind of like put it, over there. But I would be sitting doing like playing a video game, like and I'm talking like house flippers, something super calming. But I'd be clenched like this, and I'd be like, oh my God. And I'd have to like literally shake myself and take a deep breath. And there are moments where I'd forget so much that I was clenching that I stopped breathing because I'm holding my diaphragm so tight. And I was like, God, I feel out of breath. I'm like, I was like, this almost feels like the start of a panic attack. But I was totally calm. Well, I thought I was totally calm. So when I went to my counseling, my therapy session, she specializes in trauma. And so she said, well, here's something it might not realize. And that is, when whatever happened for you, it doesn't trigger. When you have trauma, your body stores trauma. Your body stores trauma physically. Your body remembers it. And so it doesn't, when you get triggered, even if it's a small thing that triggers you, that doesn't mean the response is small. It's not triggering one little response, one little part of your trauma. It's a connected network that when you get triggered, it triggers everything. So no matter how small the trigger is, the response is going to be systemic and full-bodied. It's like a spider web, or I think of it, the fascial system. It's all connected. And so sure, in your head, you had moved on because you journaled about it, but your body was fully responding in fight or flight to what had happened. And I'm still responding in fight or flight to what happened. So that's what you're feeling. And it's not just like, oh, it's this one part, it's this one physical manifestation. Let's say you get a twitch in your eye or whatever. No, it doesn't trigger just one little aspect of your physical response. It triggers everything in your body. I am hardwired to respond physically to certain triggers. So, and the fact that I had a quiet week because I wasn't distracted, I noticed it in my body, and it felt like it was manifesting more, but really it always manifests that way. I just would be busy with a client, or my brain would be focused on like touching something or working something out for someone and not realizing, and already kind of in that clenched forward position because I'm basically in like a push-up position all day. Instead, because I was sitting quietly and it was still happening, and so I noticed it. I'm doing it right now. And that's the part that's frustrating because I can't catch it until I was totally holding my diaphragm until I'm like in the thick of it. That's the hard part. When I'm in a session, she has to tell me when she knows. She's like, you look uncomfortable in your body. And I have to be like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm like feeling lightheaded because I'm clenching my diaphragm. And I'm like, she has to she stays really on top of my posture and what I'm physically doing because I don't catch it. Because I'm so in my head about and reliving what we're talking about. Interesting stuff. And I don't know why I never thought of the fact that like when your trauma is triggered is going to trigger every physical reaction you have, the whole system, not just this one little part. It makes the most sense. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. And even though it's expensive and I don't really have the money for it, I'm going to keep going because it's really helping me. Really, really, really helping me. My relationships are changing. My confidence is changing. I'm starting to feel like an individual who is worthy of being heard. And I've never felt that way before. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna let you guys go. Take some deep breaths. I might do some yoga because now I'm really feeling that whole body trauma experience because I thought about what the original trigger was, and I gotta take a moment and reset my system. Okay. I losing the camera. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.